Hey you guys, I just got a new Oracle deck today that I've been eyeballing for a little bit. It's the New Moon Intention Oracle deck from Sage Goddess. I am a big Sage Goddess freak, so I had to have these. And I just thought I'd open them with you because that's kind of fun. I enjoy seeing like a first peek of a deck. I'm just going to use my little knife here to get into them. All right. So first off, I really like this box. I have said before that I just love a good box. It's really frustrating when they come in that little carton that collapses after you take your cards out daily. So this one has a little magnetic closure on it, which I love. And of course the inside of the box is just as pretty as the outside, which I would expect nothing less from Athena. She's awesome. And then here are the cards. All right, they've got this nice like foil around the edge. And they're actually really nice cardstock, not too thin, but also not too thick. Sometimes you know how you get a new deck of cards and they're hard to shuffle because they're so thick. These have a really nice, oh, look at that. See, right out of the deck you can do that. Sometimes you have to bend them a little bit to get them ready to go. All right, so I'm gonna set the box aside and put it over here. And I'm just gonna look through these a little bit and see what they're like. So basically, the point of these cards is that they're new moon intention cards, which, as you guys know, I do love to work with the moon. And the new moon is always a time of setting intentions. In my practice, it is a time of emptying. People talk about release around the full moon. I don't release at the full moon. I release just before or at the new moon, depending on if I've become aware of something that needs to kind of be let go in my process. Excuse me. So if I have release work to do, I try to plan it around the new moon. That being said, if there's something that I realize that I need to work on throughout the month, I don't let the phase of the moon stop me from working on that. But the moon is in your favor when it is new or just before it's new. So these cards are supposed to help you kind of guide you and help you maybe choose some tools to work with, which I love because sometimes just wearing a scent or, anointing a candle or working with a stone. You can also anoint your stones with some oil to work with them. And so this one is talking about universal love. I'm going to guess that all of the pink ones are talking about love. Yeah, that's cool. I really like that. And they each have a number. Of course, if I hadn't shuffled these, you'd be able to see them all, but I couldn't resist. And then we have the green, we have the healed energy. This one says, your intention is, I work with healed energy from all realms and in all forms, allowing these healing frequencies to raise and heal my own personal vibration. As I work with healed energies in my own life force, is strengthened and reinforced, allowing me to extend my soul contract and continue my soul's journey in peace. I love that. And then it suggests to work with agerine, which I love working with. That is actually, I consider that like my kind of auric blanket. If I'm feeling a little bit surrounded by negative energies, or if I feel like there's a lot of kind of arrow energy pointing at me, I love to use some agerine. I've never worked with Rosalina, so I'd be interested in checking that out. I have a feeling this is going to make me into more of a fragrance and essential oil nerd than I already am. So I'm not sure that's the direction I want to go, because I just don't need more stuff in my house, but it's definitely a good idea. So if I were drawing this card around the new moon, I would just kind of focus in on this intention. They give you a number also, and I'm guessing that I'm guessing that there's intention. There's intention with everything that Athena does at Sage Goddess. But I'm guessing that you could also work with that number. We have some more love cards. This is about sovereign love. I activate self-love and love for my highest self, the wisest part of me that is most deeply connected to source and my ancestors. I feel like, oh yeah, and Morganite. Again, I've never worked with cystis consciously. Maybe in some of the things that I do use, because I tend to use oil blends that I let other people make for me, because it's not a craft that I do for myself. I usually just buy oils from people that I know and trust and love. Somebody that I love their energy, I would trust them to sell an oil that I would like. Healed lineage, so that's going to be about your ancestors, which is a lot of the work actually that we're doing on Earth right now in this realm. So that's a powerful card. Gives you a suggestion of what to work with to back that up. Okay, we have some more colors here. I was wondering if when we would get to them, it's because I split the deck and shuffled. All right, so then we have the happy heart, happy spirit. This is about happiness. Emotion. So this is like the emotion, working with the emotion of joy is really interesting, because a lot of people don't believe that, happiness is a goal. And while I would say that it's not really a good goal, because having goals kind of pushes you away from being in the flow, and happiness is generally a result of the up spiral of flow. I think it's a bummer that people kind of give positivity and joy a bad rap, because there are people. I will say that there's a time in your life where you really can't choose it because it's not available to you. But there are people who it's available to, and they are choosing not to choose it. And that is a very interesting kind of, I can't think of the word. It's like I'm just saying there's a line there. And once you pass it, and the point at which you pass it is really courage. It's really the level of empowerment. It's the level of consciousness at which empowerment occurs. If you have access to your personal power, you have access to choose joy. And so many people don't. They choose instead resistance and lower vibes, it's a bummer, but it is what people do, and we are free to choose. And then this type of card is about wealth, prosperity in all forms. Oh, I love that. I love how those are right next to each other. The wealth of money and the wealth of love, because so often we think of the wealth of money. We think of that as being prosperity, when in reality there are other forms of wealth. And being abundant in love and knowing that you have plenty of time are both really, really powerful realizations and powerful affirmations to stay in your higher vibration. I love these cards. Anyway, I don't want to go on and on. I think I might actually use these in my journaling group. I can see myself reflecting on these cards and coming up with journal questions for people who might follow them. If you don't know, it's pretty new, and only really my closest connections know about this yet. I started a Patreon, and that Patreon is for my moon journaling process, because I do want to share it, but I wanted to create a sacred space that was kind of away from YouTube and away from Instagram and away from all the public places. I just wanted there to be a slight veil of intentionality that you would cross into that activity, because I think that it's so valuable and so sacred that you deserve to have it a little bit separate from everything else. And if you go over to my Patreon at patreon.com/Arachne Project, you can find me on there and you can join me. It is $3 a month to support the group, and that helps me with the time an energy exchange that is required to kind of run the group. And I would love for you to join me over there and say hello. All right, so I'm probably going to sit with these cards a little bit longer, but I'm just going to let you guys go. If you want these cards, they are the Sage Goddess New Moon Intention cards, and you can get them over on the Sage Goddess website. And this is not a paid promotion. I should just let you know. I'm just a big Sage Goddess freak. All right, so you guys have a great day, and I will talk to you all later.